this episode, I use some tape. I stir a can. And I try to catch my exotic wood stash on fire. Hey, welcome back to 92 Guitars. My name is James. I think we're going to go blue on this thing. Let's get this thing torn down and start sanding the final sand on it. And we'll start tinting this thing blue and see what we like. If we don't like the blue, well, we'll sand it off and we'll try again. The only thing I don't like about the blue is that I put a dark binding on it. I wish I would have put a really light binding on there instead of a dark one, because I think it would contrast the blue better, but we're going to try blue anyway. I don't know what we're doing headstock yet, or pick guard. May make another pick guard. I don't know. Okay, here we go. Let's get this thing torn apart and sand it down. Ah, the Milwaukee ratchet for removing strings. Speed and power. Well, I still dislike gold tuners, but wait till you see the end of this video. Can we all just take a minute here to appreciate how little time the teardown took in this video? And so begins the sanding. Just for your guys' reference, I think it ended 2 days later. Okay, so I started working on a whole new body, and it's a slightly different shape, and I kind of like this shape. The whole point of this second body is just to test the blue tint on this thing and see what we really think. I don't want to screw up that other body, so I just made this other one real quick, and I think it's going to be a good test. Yeah, that's going to be a great test for our blue. Okay, my plan of attack here is to do a coat of oil, maybe 2 coats of oil on the neck first. That way, if I get blue tint on it, it shouldn't soak in and I shouldn't have a big sanding nightmare on my hands. Once we get that done, then we can move to that new body that we made and test out some of the blues. Okay, I've decided I also want to oil the binding to try to keep the blue dye out of it. I ran a little bit of a test right here with the blue dye on a piece of, what is this, walnut. I don't know that I'm going to be successful in keeping the blue out of it, but I feel like I want to at least try. So that's what I'm doing right now. Okay, I've got a can here that I've cleaned out, and I've just got a small amount of water in it, not very much. And I got my blue. We're going to do about that much. No idea how many drops that was, but it wasn't very many. It's definitely blue. That was very light blue. That is like a putrid blue. It looks terrible. We may need to spray this. We may need to mix the blue into something and spray it instead of tinting it. Now I know why the mule ones are the color blue that they are, because that's exactly the color they are. What I'm wondering about is what these edges are going to look like, because they soak up tint so much differently than yeah, the end grain doesn't hardly take it at all. I think we're going to have to mix this blue into clear lacquer and do a translucent blue spray with lacquer, because this isn't going to do it. It's a little darker than I would have thought it was going to be, and it hides the grain a bit more than I thought. But I think I'm going to hit it with a Scotch-Brite and see if it knocks it back just a little bit, and then hit it with the oil, and let's see what we got. Well, it feels really nice. Let's hit it with some oil and see what we think. Wow, it's pretty good. We might be making a blue guitar today. Our blue is looking like this. I think the camera makes it a little bit brighter than it is. I don't know. What do we think? Blue with the walnut binding, is that going to be okay? I don't know, you guys. I just don't know. Maybe. Okay, it's a new day out here. Actually, it's a couple of new days out here. I've been working on a whole bunch of non-guitar related projects, and this place is a mess. We're gonna have to take care of that this morning. So as those couple of days have passed, I was really starting to think about that blue that I was working on. And honestly, I think I'm just not going to go with that blue direction. I don't like the way that the blue with the tint is turning out on the maple. It's just not what I'm after. If that was a lacquer finish, I could spray a nice translucent lacquer blue finish on this guitar and get it to look really nice. But I don't want to lacquer this guitar. I don't know why. I just feel like it doesn't need a lacquer job on it. So I think I'm going to abandon the blue because I don't like the way the color's laying down on the maple. And I'm going to go with a more traditional acoustic guitar look to this thing. So let's see if we can get some of that figured out. And I'd really like to get the color down on this guitar and get this thing oiled up so we can get it back together. All right, I'm all sanded back to 400 grit again. This thing kind of got pretty dirty when I was putting oil on the binding and I was testing that blue. I got a couple of blue fingerprints on it somehow. It was just a mess. Feeling really good. It's looking really good. It's ready for whatever colors we're going to put on it. So let's tackle that. Here we go. Let's mix some color. What's really nice is when you mix these tints into naphtha. Now, I can't buy naphtha in California anymore because, well, never mind. So what I found is that this Coleman Camp Fuel, it's naphtha. I mean, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure it's just naphtha. This stuff evaporates pretty quickly. It doesn't make the grain rise as much on here. It doesn't rough up the surface so bad. So I've already poured some of my naphtha in my can here, so that's ready to go. 1 drop of tobacco brown, which is what this is, even though you can't read it on the label anymore. Maybe 3 that was. Everything always comes out better when you mix a little bit of vintage amber or honey amber type tint into it. So we're going to go a little bit of that. And then I'm going to really go 7 or 8 drops of this red mahogany in here. That's probably more than 7 or 8 drops, but I never was that good at counting. So yeah, I like that. Could we have done it on the first try? Okay, let's look at it against the binding on the guitar and see if we still really like it. Are we good with that color for the back and the sides up against the binding? It might need a little bit more brown. Gosh, I love that color. I don't think that color is going to look great against the walnut binding. Let's go with a whole bunch more brown and see if we like the more brown. Too much! Look at my hands. I've said it before. It's a good thing I'm not a dentist. Oh, here we go. Well, that's nice. Okay, they're all really nice colors. Every single one of those colors is really nice. The question is, what looks best against this walnut binding? Is none of them an option? I think maybe we get the red out of there because there's no red undertones in this at all. So I say we mix up another one and we get the red out of there. Okay, I've worked out my color for the back and sides. It's this color right here, and the recipe was probably 5 or 6 drops of black, quite a bit of orange actually. I ran a bunch of orange in there, just a little bit of tobacco brown, and then a whole bunch of this honey amber. That honey amber, I'm telling you, it doesn't matter what color you're mixing, just put the honey amber or the vintage amber in it. It's going to be better. Ends up looking like that on the back and sides, and I'm pretty happy with that contrast on the back and sides. So that's already mixed. I should have enough to put that on. Let's get the back and sides done. If this doesn't look good, well, we will always have thought it should have. Okay, pretty happy with how that color turned out. It has a very vintage look to it, which I'm very happy with. And especially on the edge, I think it looks really cool along the edge. Now, the color on the top Yeah, we're gonna have to go back and retest and see what we want to do for the color on the top. This has a little bit of honey amber with some orange mixed in it. It looks pretty good up against the sides. You can't tell anything on camera, so you're gonna have to trust me. And then I put 3 drops of black in this orange mix to just make that kind of a rustic orange color. And I think in the end, that's where I'm headed. And I know probably what you're thinking right now on camera is you're thinking, no, please do not do that. But I promise this color is not what it looks like on camera. Let's go for the rustic orange on the top. Here we go. Okay, if you guys are new around here, you probably have no idea what this thing is all about. And honestly, I think I'm going to skip trying to even explain to you what this thing is all about. Maybe you guys will remember the one that we made out of wood and the success we had with the wooden one. We don't want a flat cover plate. We want that cover plate to have a nice dome. And believe it or not, that's what this thing does. I'm going to get this all taken apart and I'll show you how the thing works. And you'll be amazed. Well, you probably won't be amazed, but you'll at least go, huh. Okay, if you didn't figure it out from the time lapse, the way this goes is you sandwich your cover plate in between these 2 pieces of metal here that are precisely cut for the size of this thing. And then there is a sacrificial piece of metal in between the cover plate and this back piece. And what happens in between those 2 pieces of metal is you fill it full of grease until it's pressurized. In fact, you can see the grease is escaping out of the hole right there because it's under pressure. And you get enough grease pressure in there and it builds this thing up into a nice curve. You probably saw me tapping on it lightly in the time lapse with the hammer. And that's just because what I've learned is when you bend metal like that and you shape it, just those small taps will relieve some of the pressure in that metal and it'll hold its shape better. Okay, so I think this shows it pretty well. You can see it sitting flat there in the middle and you can see how much downwards, it's got. In fact, it goes all the way down to there. Someday, and I'm really excited about this, I'm going to have shorter bolts. So it doesn't take me 45 minutes to put all these bolts in there because it just takes way too long. That cut me bad. Well, would you look at it? I mean, just look at it. Okay, a ton of details left to sort out on this thing. Like that thing needs to be black. I don't think I like the white 92 in there. The tailpiece and the cover plate aren't matching exactly yet, but I think I can get those to match. I like how this one turned out. It's really, really cool. I kind of turned a corner on making metal that color. The resonators have been needing that kind of detail. I don't have screws in the cover plate yet. I really don't think this is the right pick guard for it. I think the shape is fine, but I don't think those colors are right. Tortoiseshell. I'm sort of tempted to do a tortoiseshell pick guard on it. I don't know, that might look really cool. Problem is my tortoiseshell, the piece I have is about that much too short. So like 3/4 of an inch or that many millimeters. I don't have a logo on it yet. I can I can hear my voice echoing through this thing. It's so darn loud. It's cool that it's that loud. Okay, what's the back look like? Oh, the sides, you know, kind of like that. I really like how the stain took different, and you know, the grain took up the stain different. Oh, I don't have the electro socket in there yet. The neck is amazing. This might be the first guitar where gold tuners would be okay with me. I've never ever built a guitar in 25 years that I have put gold tuners on. This might be the first one, so you never know. I think now we just need to, yeah, something's not right there. I don't know, maybe I should just make a black one. I think I have a black piece big enough to do black. Man, I might need your guys' help on this one. I don't know what's gonna look good there. Okay, let's get to work. If this doesn't work, well, we will always thought it should have. Well, I really like the black, except maybe it's just too shiny for this. I'm thinking about painting that wood one that we had black and trying that because I totally screwed up the pickup hole here. Now, when I was cutting these out on the CNC out of the wood, you know, I put the wood in there. Hey, over here, pay attention now. What were you guys even staring at? Now, when I was cutting these out on the CNC using the wood, you can kind of remember I would just have a really thick piece of wood on the CNC and I would cut out this shape, kind of looks like this, and then I'd run it through the bandsaw and it would just come out. Well, with the plastic, I had the wrong order of operations on the CNC where I did this outside shape first. When you do the outside shape first, it's loose in there, and then it cut the inside of the, you know, the pickup all messed up because this thing could move around then. So I got to redo it anyway, but I think I'm really liking the black. I'm just not so sure I like the gloss black. I think I have a sheet of like that old, the Fender Blackguard, I don't remember what that stuff was called, Bakelite. I think I have an old sheet of that Fender Blackguard Bakelite stuff. Maybe we'll try again with a flat black one. Man, I've made a lot of these pick guards. We're gonna make another one, probably another one after that. I don't know. We're getting closer though. We're getting really close. Filming this on my phone because I just took my SIM card out of the camera and it fell right in that hole right there. So now we get to open the downdraft table and see if we can fish it out of there. Well, get off. Oh, dang. I remember the last time I opened this thing, I said the same thing and I didn't clean it out then either. Hello? SIM card? Is that it right there? I think it's that right there. Oh, that is it. Oh yeah, I'm sure it's fine. Yeah, let's just ignore that for now. Okay, that's 11% better. I definitely like the flat black better than that shiny black. Still don't know the black's the right choice, but I sure like it. This is still showing really bright, but it's just not that bright, I promise. We still got lots of details left to do. I gotta make a strap, you know, for the cover plate thing. I need to finish getting this thing the right color. Can you hear me echoing? Hello? Still gotta put the electro socket in. Lots of little details, and then we're gonna wire this thing up and we're gonna play it. And it'll be really interesting to hear how this resonator affects this pickup. I'm guessing it affects it none, and it's just going to sound like an electric guitar with a neck pickup. And if that's the case, and we're wishing we had some more resonator sounds, then we can always go with this Fishman, you know, the Resophonic. Maybe we'll end up with a switch and a knob here, volume tone switch between those two. Maybe a blend knob between those two would be really cool to blend a regular electric guitar in with this piezo. I don't know yet. We're just going to have to get to that point and play it and see how we feel about how it sounds. Now, I know for sure we're going to make another pick guard, maybe two more, but for sure we're making another one. I didn't use the Bakelite, obviously. This is the wood one. I just got lazy and painted it flat black. The reason we're going to make another one is because, you know, the edge isn't perfect all the way around. In fact, if you look at the top here, look at the gap right there. It's really big compared to, say, like right here. And so that is because, well, reasons. And then if some of you have probably already noticed this, but there's also a gap here up against the fretboard, and that's unacceptable. That happened, well, also reasons. And then there's a gap here at the bottom as well. More reasons. So I feel like this arc needs to come up a little bit and reveal more of this color of the top right there, because it sort of looks like a frowny eyebrow or something right now. Like I don't know about that curve right there yet. So that's all going to happen, I think, in the next video, because you guys are probably tired of me making pick guards. But the next video, this thing's going to be finished. Yeah? Yeah. It's going to get a logo up there on the headstock. Man, we're getting close, and I really like it. I'm starting to like it a lot. Okay. Oh, look at my, yeah, got a couple of those. Plus that one. Those pick guards just never end around here. They're like rabbits. Oh, I sort of wanted a parting shot of how the sides look. I love the vintage feel of the sides. It just makes me happy. Okay, thanks for following along with this build. It's been awesome. We're not done yet. Tune in next time when we do, you know, things, and then we'll finish it. Right, sure we will. Of course we will. Yes, why wouldn't we finish it? Okay, 11% more and we'll be done. Thanks for following along, you guys. Blue would have been cool. Just didn't work out.